Alrighty, welcome back. Let's get into this. I have the script. I'm in the scripts Hexagon folder. You'll notice I have the voxel folder also down here. That's for the voxel tutorials. I'm in the Hexagon folder. I'm going to create a new folder called H Single Lab 2. I'm going to open it up, create two scripts. The first one will be HS Lab 2. And then HS Lab Common. Double click on those to open them up. Come on. Go back to Unity, select our HS Lab 1, and I'm going to edit that script. Just copy the whole thing, paste it over into HS Lab 2. We're going to do a rename on the name. Rename it HS Lab 2, HS Lab 1 to HS Lab 2. 3 occurrences happened. Alrighty. Let's get some of our common done. First of all, we'll copy this, of course. Let's copy all of this. Going to move my character camera up here, or over to the common. Simple state machine for our common also. Since our input will be coming from this guy now, bring our input mode up here. We'll leave the definition in the lab for now. Chunk span is just like nugget count. We'll start off with 3. We're going to manually create them for now. Later on we'll dynamically create them. Our mesh library is coming up. Since that's a reference, it's not necessarily a big memory hog, but can be. Anything that is shared or the same between the chunks, we're moving it up. We will need a base shape over here. Kind of drives me nuts because we only need it for the preview, and we're only previewing the full version of that right now, but we can implement the preview of the other versions, or of the actual object selected. We'll do that later. Want the actual chunk index that we click on now to be one of our debug variables that we can see in the editor. And since our input is being moved up, we need all of our input variables over here. Could have just copied a lot of this from the chunk, but I don't feel like it right now. With our evaluate results, we'll initialize it here. Vertice limit really needs to come over. Don't know why I haven't moved that. Well, leave in the lab. That one really won't hurt. We're going to actually get our children. We're not going to fill out the array manually. We'll actually use Unity's built-in functionality because this is only called once. Won't hurt us in any way. A little bit more code in our setup here. Go ahead and implement our check chunks. And this really is minor pooling. It's not major pooling. It's not big league pooling, but it is pooling like a swimming pool. Might not understand my Texas voice. So it's like a swimming pool. I don't have weighting over here yet. So right up here, adding a new item to our lab, actual chunk. Actually, this one's pre-evaluate. I didn't need to add it yet. And we return immediately. So, generally, from the update, we're going to call, based on the commons state, we're going to call check chunks, or we're going to do nothing if it's in use. That's where I needed waiting. So if we're not in use, if our common is not marked as in use, it's going to call check chunks. The first chunk that is waiting for the common will be, our state will be turned to in use, so it won't be called again. And the chunk state will be set to pre-evaluate, so it will start its process. This is why when you look at Minecraft, or you look at a lot of games, and if they don't have a start screen hiding it like Minecraft, you'll actually see everything being generated. You'll see things start to pop up here and there. And that's mainly because of memory management. If you're trying with this hexagon to go as high, to go to the same lengths as Minecraft, you're looking at good, if you tried to do all chunks at once, you're looking at good 6 gigabytes, because I tried it. And really, I crashed. So definitely went over the 32-bit limit of 4 gigabytes. And really, my machine, I had to reboot it. Although my PC didn't crash, I had to reboot it because I just consumed so much RAM. I had to use Task Manager to actually find out how much RAM I was using, because the little button that I added to the canvas on the front to check the memory that's in the intro, I couldn't click it. So really, you've got to do pooling, and this is really an excellent way to do pooling. You know, although we're doing a limited space here, we'll see it. We'll do a test at the end of the next lab, HS Lab 3, where we see just how far we can push it without major pooling, and we can get pretty big. But of course, you probably want that more huge arena. You know, you would like. I personally think you would like your minimum map to be at least the size of Fallout 4. Or bigger, and that's really what I'm including in my Udemy course that I'm writing at the same time as this. But this, you could totally do, Silent Hill. You could do Warcraft. You could do Heroes of Might and Magic. You could do setup for so many different games. Either you could do a farming game. You could do a tower defense game. You could do so many things with this setup at the level that you're getting here on YouTube. So if you want to support the channel, when I get the class completed, you can buy it. But otherwise, you can really go very far with this. Depends on how much you want to do. Okay, so that's going to be it for a moment, because we're going to check out our chunk first and make sure everything's set up in it, and then we will come over and modify its code to start calling the common. Let's get to it. Alrighty, let's get to this. Let's jump back to Unity. We're going to right click on the single labs in the Hexagon scene, create a new scene called HS Lab 2. But under that, we're going to create, HS Lab 2 common, excuse me. Under that, we will create HS Lab 2. As I said before, we're going to create these statically or manually in the editor for right now. So let's just drag our HS Lab 2 script onto the HS Lab 2 and the HS Lab 2 common onto the HS Lab 2 common. Change U to generate. We still got our materials and stuff in here. So we're just going to do a quick test that everything is good in here before we go on and implement everything else. Let's see here. Drag all of our stuff over, set our materials up. We're going to delete them in just a few minutes. Trying not to forget anything here. Last hurrah of the lonely chunk. I'm not even going to worry about setting those, because, well, let's go ahead and set them. We'll be using them for a little while. But they're moving up to the common also, our pooling object. Hopefully I remembered everything. Yay. Goodbye, lonely chunk. You served your purpose. Alrighty. Everything's good there. Let's jump back to our common. Let's get it done.